Welcome to BISP solution, and in our sessions of learning ARCS account reconciliation and cloud services, we are going to today we are going to learn about the configuration part of reconciliation compliance module. So in our earlier session, we have just concluded, we have just reached out to this option, this functionality of under ARCS. Let me, so we have seen the, under the, we have seen all the cards and taken an overview of the ARCS and have gone through with each and every cards and the clusters which are available in ARCS from the navigator. So in our and we have just landed into the configuration part of the application, which is one of the key decisions, and without which we cannot move further in our application, in ARCS application. So we will just start with the configuration of the reconciliation compliance under ARCS. Okay. So when we talk about the configuration under reconciliation compliance module, so this is basically the first step in which we have to start with in the ARCS application. So to reach out up to this configuration, this is the basically the path from where we can reach land to the configuration part. From suppose if we log in and have we landed into this home page, and from there we can go either from the from navigator under application we have this configuration, or from the home page cards under the application we have this configuration option. Both the ways we can reach out to us to the configuration part. And if you remember in our earlier session, in our last session, we have gone through this welcome panel and we have changed the welcome message, the announcement, which is still appearing in our application. So to start with configuration. So this is the path from where we can reach out to the configuration. And under the configuration, if we want to know about what is configuration, then we can just we can say that it allows one to perform a variety of tasks to set up, configure and maintain accounts reconciliation. So as I said, this is basically the first task in setting up reconciliation compliance, is to configure different settings which are available under configuration. So what are those settings which are need to be configured? These are the settings. That is the alert. Then we have this attribute, system attributes. So we have basically gone through up to this attributes and system attributes, and now we will learn about this system attribute today. So just take a quick recall of the alerts. So alerts are basically this is the communication between a user and between user and the other stakeholders which are having an issue while working toward the closing a reconciliation, and other users may be able to help to resolve the issue. While working on the reconciliation or completing the task, a user may find some issue, or he may come up with some new development that he may raise through with the help of this alert type. And and by raising that alert of the new development, the other stakeholders or the administrator can resolve that issue for the repairer or the user to work upon that. So these are the basically the in between or the while working alerts. While working, if we come up with some new development or the issue, for that we can create a alert. So I will just show you once again from the profile. Say this is the one of our profile and user is working on it. Sorry, I will go to this from reconciliation part. Under reconciliation, yes, say user is performing his task and he come up with some issue, so he can raise that alert from here. You can just add up some create alert. You can just raise some alert by providing a name and giving a description to it what difficulty he is facing. So this is basically the work of this alert. So it will alert, or it will information will be available to all the manager or the administrator that some problem has come in or some issues arise by one of the user. So then second one is the attributes. So custom attributes are usually defined fields. Custom attributes are user-defined fields defined centrally by administrator and can be used in reconciliation profiles and formats. Basically, these are the column headings or the attributes which are defined by default. They have been available in an application, basing the which are mostly which can be commonly used in an application while working. So, and these attributes are available for attachment in profile as well as in formats. The administrator and power user can assign attributes to profile to capture information that is not supported by standard attributes. Say if some standard attributes are available, and in addition to that we need some other additional information or that we can create with the help of this profile. And also in formats, administrator can assign attributes to format to appear on the reconciliation. So the same can also be assigned or can be used in formats. Navigator and configuration. So these are the system attribute and this is the default attributes which are available. Accounting date, which are mostly commonly used in while working into the application. So now you can see some of them have been locked. There has been a lock symbol against some of these attributes. So here it means they have been locked. They cannot be changed by the users basically. And for say action plan, this is the action plan. And so these are those which are most commonly used. So that's why they have been considered as locked. They have been locked. So for example, for the accounting date, let's create a one attribute. If we want to have a say, we have created a scheme name for mutual fund. So we need to define the type for it. What will be the type, the value which we want to input it, whether we have to input as a date or date and time, integer, list, or number or text. So we will just use it as a text, and if their calculation is there in it, then we have to enable this as calculation. So since being a text, so no calculation will be there. So we will just we will not enable this calculation, and we have to just save it. Now you can see scheme. So this is the scheme name filter which we have just created, and we can just assign it as per our, and we can also edit it from here if you want to change some mutual fund, say units, uh, units. So it will be saved. So we can create a duplicate of this. So it will create a copy it, but we have to give a separate name for it, a different name for it. So these are the basically log. We can just change the name of it, but we cannot delete or duplicate this account. So these are the attributes. Coming on to this configuration part. So system attributes. So under the system attribute, we have first option we have is the profile segment. So profile segment, what does this profile segment means? Basically these are the components of the account ID used to uniquely identify profiles and reconciliation. This is one-time exercise. Once configured, it cannot be modified. We cannot change or modify at any later stage. Hence, this step is considered as a key decision. So the system attribute a profile segment. Here, the work here is our purpose here is to provide a unique identity, Say, for example, in a similar manner, if we provide a employee code or a code to an employee or a code to a fixed asset or similar like that, so that it become its identity. So for that purpose we provide a we create a profile segment to it. So we create profile segment. So under this we can have the basic, and under this basically the company name. So generally basically the company needs to reconcile their account, their accounts basis the company name. So the by default the company name is appearing here itself, appearing here. So by default it is availing, and we can create add other profile segment as per our requirement. So second can be an account. Based on account, what will be the account of it? Say for example whether it is of a account type, if we say it is of related to say related to asset or a liability or a receivables or a payable account. So to define that we use this profile, and we can add another profile tool. But what it will do, give me a second just. So for example, if we have this profile, say it is account, company name, if there is, we can have sub region or location we can add, and so on. Then we have sub location, then we can add cost center. So for example, if the account here is ID is 1, say 111, and the name of the code given to that company maybe say it can be 05. 05 here means in a particular code allotted to a company. Then it may have 51 or 52. 5 represent the company name and 2 represent its sub region. Then we have this, we can just delete this sub region. There is no need of this sub region. We can have this location 51 to represent a location of that particular region. Then we have this sub region, sub location 52, say it can be a 1 or 2, or say it start with 2, 2, 2.1, 2.1, say 2.1, and sorry, 2.1 will be the year, and we will keep this as 2, and there may be a cost center to it. So for that, maybe the cost center may include a numeric number 11 and 20. So we can assign that one can see from the profile segment that 111 represent account, and it is for company A, it is for location 2, and it's a sub location 21, and for the cost center 1120. So for reconciliation, what we are doing, so we are doing reconciliation for account 111, company 5, location 2. The location may be, if there is another location 1, we can have this 1, then 1, 2. So here 2 represent, 1 represent the name of the location, and second represent the code for the sub location, and then cost center, it can be same, but here the profile name is distinguished with location and sub location. So likewise, we have to create this profile segment. So what is important here, once we define this parameter, this combination of account company, we cannot change it later on. So it is better to have to keep it as a small as small, and 5 dash 2 dash 1 dash 1120. Okay. So the ARCS generally prefer to have the profile segment with, and a maximum a recommended profile segment will be of 20 columns or 20 segments. That is, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Likewise, 5. We can have this 20. But more, as the more and more we will use profile, it will make our profile the data as bulky. So in place of that, we have an option to create an attribute for it, and can assign the required attribute in place of a particular profile segment. So it will make us it will look good, and will make the data upload into easier. Say for example, in this case, we can just remove this cost center. So what will be our profile segment? 111-5-2-21. So till sub location we have created this profile, and for this cost center will create a separate attributes. So while working with this profile, we will just filter and add a attribute to this profile so that we can get the desired information. So this is how this profile segment work, and we can assign the type, and the target dimension is basically used. We have to select from the available list, and now we can see we cannot add or modify this profile segment. So this is the importance of this profile segment, which will be used in each and every condition for each and every profiles. Then we have this system. Under system attribute, we have this process. So what this process it means, it distinguishes reconciliation for different purposes, such as predefined balance sheet process. One can add, change the terminology as needed. So when we come to this process, this one. So this is basically the process, the purpose for which we are doing this reconciliation, such as whether it is for a balance sheet or for some other requirement, say whether we are doing this for variance analysis or some other consolidation checks. So what are those process for which, the business process for which we are likely to perform this application, and by default this balance sheet is the available. By default the balance sheet option is remain available here by default, and we can add the other ones. Say for example, if we have profit and loss, and just we can save it. So for what we are doing this for balance sheet, and we have added what process here itself. Okay, so where this process will appear, I will just show you. Under the profile, we will see one profile here. So while creating a new profile, now you can see the profile, it will appear in this. So we have to attach this process into our profile. So what are those? Balance sheet, variance analysis, profit and loss. If we are doing it for accounts payable and receivable, we will choose this balance sheet. And if we are doing it variance analysis or some other the differences or the variances for some of the profit and loss account, profit and loss member, we can choose this profit and loss process as profit and loss. So this will be used in our profile, and we will go to our configuration page. So this is the process. Then we come to this risk rating, the risk rating tab. So under the risk rating, these are basically the tags or the parameter which we assign to reconciliation to help with reporting and analysis, such as high, medium or low, and can create additional if needed. We can define the importance or the risk rating parameters to a reconciliation. By defining this, the one will concentrate or will take that reconciliation as per the risk rating assigned to it. So basically, high, medium, low, and high, medium, they are available, and but we can create some additional as per our requirement or as per client requirement. Okay, we in our coming sessions, when we will create a new application, we will do all this exercise. Since this is a pre-built demo application, so all these are already available in it. We will see all this when we will do our creating application, hands-on on the creating application. Then comes the frequency. Basically what this frequency means, the duration or the period for which we will be doing the reconciliation. It determines how often reconciliation are prepared, that is the duration of reconciliation to be done, and by default monthly, quarterly are available, and one can add other as per our requirement. So this is basically the reconciliation is taken place on a monthly basis after the closing, after the close of the period. So that's why we will define the frequency here, the duration or the period or the repeating time when we will be completing this one, doing this reconciliation. We have to define this into our profile. So I will just use on the side by side, if I can say, okay, copy. I will just try to show you parallel in our application in the profile segment also, just like we see in our the process we see. So under filter, say CBKK, is there anything? There is no data. Is there CA as such? So we will just check, use this bank reconciliation. So this so process we have seen, we have to attach this in our profile. Similarly, the risk rating, we have to attach this, and also the we are seeing the frequency. So frequency we have to define in our frequency we have to define in, not in our profile, but while creating the in the format itself. Frequency business quarterly. So one can add the other, maybe said yearly, yeah, annually. One can have a daily also and just save it. Frequencies. Then we come to the next tab as account type. The account type. So for this account type, okay. Basically it gone out of the visible area. So what this account type means, these are the tags assigned to reconciliation to help with reporting and analyze, such as assets, liability or equity. A hierarchy is defined for use in profile. So basically what this account type, it is basically a assignment of the balance sheet items, the balance sheet, the asset, liability, equity or the profit and loss account. It's an hierarchy which is defined for all our reconciliations. So one, you can see in the account type we have these assets, and under assets we have defined all these members, long-term receivables, other receivables, then we have this cash receivables, accounts receivable, then we have this cash, investment, other assets, and similarly for liabilities. So we have to assign this reconciliation, this profile, this account type in our profile. So as we have been doing the bank reconciliation, so we will just go and assign it from here. We will just go and select it from here. So what type of reconciliation, what is the type of this reconciliation is required? So we will choose accordingly as per our the account for which we are doing the reconciliation. And basically, and we can add or edit some other members also. So for example, if for under liability, if we have to add a child, so we will just go to here liability and have to add overseas short-term payable and just save it. So it will create our application. So if we want to have, so this will now be available in our account type here. Under liability, now you can see overseas. I think it has not yet been saved. So I will have to just count. Now this has been saved. Overseas short-term payables. So we will choose that account type here while creating the application. Still they are not being shown. Okay, that what I mean to say, this will be available in our application and we have to save this one again. Now I think it will be visible here. I will just go and close it here. Now this is available, overseas ST payables. So we just need to define the nature or the account type for which we are doing the reconciliation. So for that we can create from this profile segment. Now we come to next option as the aging profiles. This is the aging profile. These are basically the assignment of for the creation of aging to a particular transaction. Say for example, we can add standard aging profile by clicking I'll just reset it. So this is basically the standard aging profile. To add this, we can just have this plus symbol. Aging 0 to 30 days. We start with 0 and end with 30. Just save it. And we will go and add from 31 to say 90 days. So we will just give it here 90. And so likewise, we can create an aging or a label, provide a label to the transactions. So it will help us for the analysis of the transaction. So this is the aging profile. This is about aging profile. Then we have this global integration token. So these are basically the parameters reports which are accessible for the BI publishers. So the contribute in building, suppose if some custom report is needs to be defined in BI publisher, it's basically some technical functionality. So if we have to use this, so need to create some custom report in for BI publishers. So for that we can take the help of, with the help of this global integration token, we can do that, we can create that. So this is about the system attribute. Now we will come to the other part, the other option. The other part is currency. So under currency, what are the different options available, different tabs available? Currency rates, currency buckets, currency and rate types. So these four are available under the currency. So currency rates, what does this mean? This means one can define the exchange rate for currency conversion. By currency here we can define the exchange rate for different currency so that it can be converted into the desired currency. If we have some functional transaction, functional entities need to be converted into the reporting currency, then we have to define the rate for both for that functional currency and as well as for the reporting currency. So this can be created either by importing CSV file or by manual input. So before coming to these currency rates, we will first go through this rate types, because for currency rate we have to define the current rate, the rate types first. So what does this rate type means? It means we have to define for transaction of translation, transaction entered in reconciliation. If transaction are recorded in entered currency bucket, the system can translate into functional values rate. Functional values. Rate types need to be defined first to attach in currency rates. Okay. So rate type, when this one. Under the profile, we have this currency option as currency tab. So we have to define here what rate type we have to consider it. So we have this three rate types: accounting, alternate and units rate. So that rate we need to define in our currency tab in while creating the profile. So what is the rate type? Accounting, alternate rate and units. Okay, so these are the accounting rate are available in it by default and have to choose while in creating the profile. So under accounting, So we can create some other rate type also, say closing rates, closing rate. What could have been the system? Make it as closing rate and just save it. So what the balance sheet items, if we are doing the reconciliation for some balance sheet items, say accounts of receivable, payables, or some fixed asset, so it will help the user to convert that transaction basis the closing rate. So for that we will have to choose, under the profile we have to choose the rate type as currency, as closing rate here. So it will convert that rate into the basis the closing rate which we defined in our currency rates. Okay, this is basically the rate type which we need to define. So if transactions are recorded in the entered currency bucket, the system can translate into functional value. Rate type needs to be defined. So this first needs to be defined for defining for entering the or inputting the currency rates. This is the rate type. Then we will come to this currency. So this is the currency. So currency, this is basically the default list of all the currency in use. One can add or delete this as per our business need. So this here, we have to create the currency code. So this is basically the currency code which are available, which are in use. So by default, all these are available. If we have to use another one, have to add one, then we have to just go to plus symbol. Just reset it. Where it is not coming. This currency code, say ANG1. What will be the symbol to it? Say make it as ANG1, same decimal place, and we can give a name to it. Netherlands B, and just enable it. By enabling it, it will be available for use in different transactions. So we are not going to add this one, but likewise we can add this additional currency in it. So just reset it, don't save it, we will not save it. So this is about the currency. Then come to this currency buckets. Then we under currency buckets we have entered, functional, and reporting. Okay, so by defining currency bucket, one can have multi-currency reconciliation of data uploaded. The default available labels are enter, functional, and reporting. So if we have to convert the entered, as I said, if we have to change the convert the data, the transaction entered, if it is in entered currency and the entered currency is US dollar, then we have to enable this one, have to choose this in our functional, in our profile segment. So under this currency, now you can see entered, we have choose this one, enable this one, entered and functional, because that entered currency will be converted into functional currency. And what is our entered currency? It is US dollar, and functional is also a US dollar. But in case if the functional currency is different from USD, that we will choose it from here, and the multi-currency transaction under the multi-currency will be enabled, and transaction can be converted from enter to function based on the accounting rate type. So and we are seeing this under profile, and this is our configuration part. So we have to just enable it. Disable balance attribute with all currency, balance attribute with default currency. We have to enable all this. So this is the currency bucket. And then comes the currency rates. Here we have to define the exchange rate for the available currency for currency conversion. So this needs to be created either by importing or by a manual input. So under the currency rates, we have to define the conversion rate. Now presently you are not able to see any rates which are defined. To define that, to see view that, we have to define the POV, that is the rate type and period. This rate type and period to input or display the defined rate. If suppose if you have to see the rate, what are the rates defined for a particular currency for a particular period. So just go to this and choose accounting rate type. Say we will just select the period as June 22. Now you can see for the rate type accounting and for the period June 22, all these currency rates have been defined. Okay, from currency NZD to USD, what is the rate? This is the rate defined. For PAB to USD, this one. For RO and Romanian to USD, this rate is defined. Likewise, for all the currency, these rates have been defined for this particular period. If we will choose a different period, then the rates will be different. So this rate type needs to be defined for every period. So if suppose if we are doing reconciliation for June, for September, and then we have to define that rate for all these entities, for all this currency, for July also, August also, for September also, because the reconciliation, because the conversion is made on the basis of every month, the rate defined for a particular month. The rates may be same or it may be different. So this is basically about the rate time. That is, we have to define the POV to see the rate. To make any changes or to add, we have to just go here. From which currency we have to convert? Say from GBP to say USD, say the Denmark. What will be the rate? Say it will be 0.5, and we will just save it. So it will be saved in our list. And likewise, we have to define the reverse rate also from DEM to GBP also. Okay, so this is the rate. So for here what we have done, we have choose the entered and functional currency. So this is to be, so this currency, it needs to be attached or to be used in profile segment, in the profile. So this is about the currency, in which basically we define the rates in it, the currency rates. Then we will come to this on some in a later part. Then we have this data loads. So data loads. So what does it? So data loads into ARCS. It acts as a gateway for importing data from ERP to ARCS through data management, used for data upload for data management. So basically, when we upload the file from other sources or with the help of data management, either we can manually attach the pre-mapped data into the period. Say for example, we will go to this period one. Say for January 22, we have to upload a data in a profile. So we will just go and click on this import pre-mapped balance or pre-mapped transactions. So under the period from we upload the file, our manual file. Say for example, and we have to attach the file here, and we can, once we attach it, it will import that and will do the reconciliation. The data will be uploaded into the particular profile for reconciliation purpose. But in case of data, when data is imported, when the data is uploaded with the help of data management, we have to choose this import data execution, and we have to choose this plus. Now you can see this data load execution. What we can see here is defined in this data load. Say if we are getting the data being imported from Fusion, then we have to we can to provide a name to it, description to a snapshot, and the available data source from where we are getting the file. Either if we are uploading the same from file through data management, we have to choose this as file and upload the data. So this is basically contributes to the upload of data with the help of data management into ARCS. So I will just close this one. So this is about data loads. Then we come to this filters. So data, the second tab here is the filters. The filters are basically the records that one can see in list view and reports. So what filter means, it basically summarize our information. To summarize the information, the filters are being used. It works across many different areas to filter data displayed in a list. So these filters can be used for profile, for filtering data, for summarizing the information in profile, in reconciliation, in attributes, and also in a matching. So what we can see in this list, say for example in our profile, in profile we are seeing this information. Okay, and if we want to filter this report, that this all this report, I don't want all these columns or all this data or information for the total profile. So for that we can add a filter from here and can summarize or customize our view basis the filter which we applied here, which we create here. So for creating that, for applying this filter, those which are available here, we create it here. So all these are available from here, which those filter we create here will be appearing here itself. Say for example aging violation, just clear all filter, add a filter, adjustment or support. Maybe just remain it. So likewise we can use the filter here. Yes, this one, aging. So with the help of this we can just summarize our view. So filters can be created at runtime, that is after the data is displayed or when designing the chart or pivot view. So what does it means? This can be created at any time. If we are working on some profile and we just identified that we need a filter for this profile, we can go and go to this filter tab and can create the data for it. So I will just equal or rate type all, and to create this filter we have this option. No, this one. From here we can create the filter. Say scheme name MF, provide a scheme mutual fund scheme for say For equities, what will be the from where we want to attach it? Say we want to attach it on a profile name, and likewise we can create a condition for it. So where it will be, what will be the source will be profile. What will be the name? Say preparer. So we will filter this basis the preparer name. And operator, what is the operator? Value. The value will be the preparer must be equal to Frank Taylor. Okay, just and save it. Let's see. Yeah, this scheme name has we have created this filter here. Now we will just go to profile. I am just coming back to this profile window. From here we will go to profile, and we can add scheme name mutual fund units. Okay, operator scheme name operator equals value. So there is no nothing which can filter for this scheme name, because no profile are related to this one or this one. So that this well, likewise we can create the filter here. No condition is defined for this purpose. So likewise we can add other filters also. Amount. Okay. So if the amount is equal to, or say a filter preparer. Okay, so who will be the preparer? It will give us the list of the preparer. Say it is prep 2, prep 1. Now it will filter out our report basis the preparer which we have created, this one, the name which we give it to. So we have not defined any value here, that's why it is not coming anything in it. Okay. So this is about filter, and so I will just remove all these filter, clear all these filters. So there is no filter available, and so this is basically the configuration part. So we have to configure. We are creating it for use in for use in our reconciliation purpose. So that's why we call it as a configuration. So, and that's why it is a very important step in our application. So this is about the profile and this one, and the next tab is list. So list helps a viewer, it provides a flexibility to viewer to visualize the way we can view the data, and it provides a table display of information in columns and row for the object which meet the filter condition on the page. Say under the list, this is format. We will come to that format in our coming session. So this is the views. This is basically the view for reconciliation and transaction matching, and we will come to this profile. We can save our view here. So what we filter, we can what we have filtered, we can save that in our view. Say preparer, it is prep 1. So the profile is being filtered, and we can just go here and save this filter, save filter. So it will give us a name, prep T1 is prepared. Okay. So under this, view, I hope it must have been created. Clear all filter. Prep 1. Just save it. From the action we have to save, basically we have to save it from here, basically that I have wrongly taken it from here. So the list will be saved as per our the filtering or the filtering of the information. So we are seeing this view for all profile and balances. Likewise, we can see for the as an alternate source. So what it has done, it has changed our view and the information which is being displayed here itself, here in this under profile. So likewise, we can create this for our transaction matching also, reconciliation compliance, and this one. So this is about the list or view, we can say. So format we will take in our coming session, and also the data loads we have gone through in today's session, and for other types we will take this in our coming session. So with this we conclude our today's session, and we'll continue with the remaining topic under the configuration of reconciliation compliance module in ARCS. So I hope you like this session and will find it very useful for your learning purpose, and for more such videos, and you can reach out to our YouTube channel and subscribe to it. So till then, we say goodbye to you, and we'll meet again with some other with the remaining topic. Okay, thank you.